3, 2, 1. Hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Here, Enrico Benzoni, Marketing and Technology Alliances Manager for Sumo Logic, and with me there's Riccardo, Security Solution Engineer at Sumo Logic.
Good morning.
We are waiting for few other that join our webinar. Today we will discuss how to start a project using Cloud SOAR. Basically, when we talk about SOC automation, we talk about processes or respond to many types of incidents. So we will start in a few minutes. If you have any question, curiosity, you can use the box that you can find on the tool, and you can ask whatever you want. So we are here to respond to your question, or at the end, if you want, we can set up a specific meeting for you, because every organization have different processes, different tools, different ways in which you have to respond to different incidents. And it is important that you have your own processes, and based on that, you can use the automation. Okay, so welcome. We can start, and right, we are Sumo Logic, and these are the 3 security solutions that we have in the portfolio: Cloud Security Monitor and Analytics, Cloud SIEM, that is the visionary on the Magic Quadrant of Gartner, and it has the concept of insight that are high fidelity alerts that generate alarms that are actionable. And then Cloud SOAR, that starts where the SIEM stops. Basically, when we talk about SOAR, stand for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response, you have a solution that manage all the other tools that you have in structured processes. Basically, the SOAR ingest alerts and make the triage. If you have Cloud SIEM, you do not need the alert triage of SOAR. But if you have a legacy SIEM, you can use the alert triage functionality to reduce the rumors, the false positive, and your analyst will benefit because they can quickly identify which are the real incident, and based on that, they can create the incident in the SOAR and manage the incident response plan. You can boost the automation for the enrichment and investigation. You can stop the process where the analyst has to take decisions, and this allows to contain and remediate faster the incident. So basically, the SOAR helps to minimize the response time, reduce the analyst fatigue, and improve the efficiency and consistency of SecOps. So this is just a quick overview. So when we talk about incident response and SecOps, process first. You have to give priority to alerts. You have to triage the alerts quickly. You have to add contextual intelligence, notify the stakeholders in the right moment, activate other processes in the right moment, and make incident reports quickly. And with the SOAR, you can do that. You can simplify the workflow, creating the playbooks for every type of response plan. And you can use the automation for skipping time-consuming tasks. That is some of the capability. So basically, you have to adapt the skills of the security team, focusing them in analyzing the collected data and not in searching what happened. So if you start from the voluming of incoming alerts, only real threats are converted into incident. You can make a quick investigation. You can merge incident with the same characteristics, and you can easily make the escalation. So the human factor work, the analyst has to work. You can see that the volume decreased a lot. So this is a quick introduction. Now we can enter in deep on the automation capability. So when and here, Ricardo, based on your experience, you worked in a SOC, so you know the effort that inside a SOC that you have. Please, can you tell us where to start with an automation and how to start an automation project?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Enrico. So let's say you are in your daily work in a SOC and you have a lot of alerts, a very high volume of fatigue, and you need to introduce a SOAR inside your environment to make sure that the most mechanical actions are automated so that the analyst can have much more time to hunt for real threats and avoid mechanical things. So how would you start? The first thing you should focus on is the standard operating procedures. What this means is to focus and to analyze basically your working environment, which kind of attacks you manage, which kind of incidents you manage, how would you like to manage them, how you think that the SOAR could automate and help a lot the analysts and your overall working environment. Once you focus this, you can start thinking about the technologies that you need. In this case, we have a lot of integrations available. We're going to have a look about this later. What this means, you can integrate technologies inside Cloud SOAR, making sure that you use services publicly available on the internet or your own private services, and integrating inside Cloud SOAR, making sure that it does the work for you with these specific kind of technologies. Once you have a structure of all this, you can start creating your own playbook. A playbook is nothing more than a logical map that takes place when an incident happens and a specific response is given to the incident. This is based on your preference. Playbooks are all fully customizable. We're going to see how. And with the technologies, you can build a playbook to make sure that the response to any kind of threat is responsive, fast, and efficient. After that, of course, you need also to have a KPI and report about everything that has going on inside your working environment. This is very useful also for audit purposes, because we know how stressful an audit can be, how stressful gathering all the information can be. You have to find them from all the sources that you have. In the SOAR, everything is concentrated inside the platform. So you can just extract the KPI and provide it to the auditor or to the manager or to whoever is asking it. Of course, we as Sumo provide also a high level of training for the analysts, because of course it will be a new platform and we can introduce the analysts to work on that in a very specific way. We do like entire days of training, making sure that in the end the analysts know how to behave and how to treat the SOAR.
So basically, the first step is build the standard operating procedure. So when you have a process, the process has to work without the automation. So has to work manually. And then when you build the structured process to respond to a specific type of alert, you can use the automation for skipping time-consuming tasks. We will show you an example of spear phishing and consider that the flexibility is a key point for the automation, because thanks to the SOAR, you can integrate all your tools. You can manage all the integration that you need. If you need specific output, specific input, specific type of action, and you can easily add on your processes. We have a team that build the integration for you, so you have to focus the attention on the creation of processes. If you already have processes in place, will be more easy for you in the implementation of a SOAR. If you have not, we have a specialized team that supports you in building them. Then we have also partners that can work with you if you need specific support. So basically, you have to take care of the processes. We take care that you have everything you need for the integration purpose. So and entering in details of the 6 main capabilities that helps you in start an automation project, we have the first step, that is the integration. And with App Central, that is the repository of all the existing action that you can easily use. Basically, if you have a firewall, EDR, SIM, or DDoS, OT security solutions, whatever you have that have APIs, you can easily integrate. If you have developers using the open integration framework, you can manage actions on the fly, adding a new action, new technologies. But if you have no developers, don't worry. We have a team that develops the integration for you. So this is one of the real differentiator that we have, the supports that we can give you in using the automation as soon as possible. Now, Ricardo, can you show us how App Central works and the open integration?
Absolutely. So App Central is, as Enrico was mentioning, the center repository of all the technologies, playbooks, use cases that we as Sumo have built and that we have made available for each customer. What this means is that you can just see it. Okay. You can decide to go inside the App Central and select all the technologies and integration that you need, making sure that they are immediately available inside your instance. So let's just so this is App Central. As you can see here, we have a list of all the integration available that you can easily download from here. You can filter and search the one that you are looking for, the one that you are more interested. And once you find it, what you have to do is very easy. You can just, in this case, we are taking CSC, the Sumo Logic CM. You can see here is the integration with all the actions available for that specific integration. And in case I would want it inside my instance, I would simply have to click install and I would immediately have it available. Then, of course, I would have to provide the keys and the APIs to connect to it. But that is from where you can easily select integrations. Another interesting things are the playbooks. We have a huge variety and library of playbooks available for you because we always keep an eye about the cyber environment. For all the attacks, the most common and new attacks available, in this case, you can see that we have an industrial security playbook for industrial security incident. And let's say I want to install it inside my instance, I can simply click install inside of here, and I would immediately have it available inside the playbook part. So if I open it, I can have a look at it. And keep in mind that all the playbooks are fully editable and customizable. We don't have to stick with what we provide. You can customize the playbook as you prefer. You can insert new actions based on the type of the action that you prefer. You can edit, you can delete, you can create new nodes, you can connect a node to another one. You have full capability and full possess of a playbook. That is one of the most powerful features that we provide. You can select specific actions that are available in your instance because you know that they may be interesting for an incident that you wish to encounter inside your working environment. And you can connect and build up a playbook in the way that you prefer. There is something very powerful that a lot of customers are happy with, the fully highly customizable playbooks. Here, a playbook is, as I was saying, as we were mentioning, a logical map on how you can behave, you can treat an incident. One of the main points of strength that a lot of customers recognize in us is that how easy it is to build up a playbook and to see exactly what a playbook is doing. You can see here, even from a visual point of view, you can have a differentiation about what a specific action is doing. We have enrichment actions in green. You can send notifications because we integrate with Telegram, Slack, Skype, and also SMS. Those are blues. You can customize your own actions with your own developers. Those are the purple one. And you can make informed choice and assign tasks to the analyst. There is a crucial point that we're going to see now, because that is how and where the machine actually talks to the human, making sure that the analyst, with a single click of the mouse, can take containment actions that usually require dozens and tens of minutes. And we also provide, of course, containment action to block specific threats or specific IOCs that you wish to block inside your working environment. We're going to see this better now.
Yeah. So basically, you have, first of all, defined the playbooks that are the response plan for specific type of attack. So this is the case of the phishing. Basically, you built the process, and after that, you allow the analyst to activate the process. Using SOAR, the automation is not just inside the playbooks. You can automate also the other parts of the SOAR. For example, the activation of a specific playbook or the assignment to a specific analyst or a group of analysts. So you can boost the automation in many different ways. Now we enter in detail and we show you how to easily use a playbook. So please, Ricardo, if you want to share with us the concept and the relationship that there are between the playbooks, orchestration, and automation.
Absolutely. We're going to see now an example of a classical spear phishing playbook. So what happens here is that a mail comes into the mailbox that the SOAR is monitoring. The SOAR finds a suspicious IOC, can be a URL in this case, and it starts analyzing it. And you can see here that it starts with some enrichment action. There are these ones at the beginning, the green boxes. In this case, it's doing some additional enrichment about the URL, in some public services, also in services available on the internet. In this case, you can see that it is charging and it is doing a lot of enrichment actions. There are all these green boxes that are shadowy now, but they're going to be enlightened in a few moments once it finishes doing all these enrichment actions. Keep in mind, exactly right now. Remind that all these actions will require like 20 minutes to do this manually, and with the SOAR you're doing it in less than 1 minute. So that's something that can really relieve a lot of stress for the analyst. So you can see here, we work a lot also with these if sentences. There are these purple square that drive the flow of the playbooks. These ones here, it says that if something happens, take this path, or else take this other one. And in this case is proceeding and continuing until it arrives to the user choice. There is this, let's say, red button that you see here. That is the core of the playbook. That is where you can save a lot of time and where the analyst would, of course, thank you. Because, of course, here, there is a simple question asked to the analyst. In this case is, where would you like to ban this specific URL that we have found and that can be potentially malicious? So the answer, the question and the answer that you can provide, you can find it inside the SecOps dashboard. That is basically the homepage of the SOAR. That is where the analyst will log in every day. That's the first page you will see. You can see here, there is the question related to the playbook. Where would you like to ban the URL domain? And the analyst will just have to reply to one answer between all those here that are given. So I would just say in this case, pick an answer that they prefer the most, or you can escalate it. And you can see here that the playbook goes on and it provides an additional task. There is something that is asked the analyst to do. And in this case, again, the analyst doesn't need to go inside the playbook. He can decide from here what to do, if to approve and close, or decline this specific task. There is something specifically asked to the analyst to do. And in this case, you can basically have all the information that you need from here, and you can take all the containment action just by a click of a mouse. That is something that really saves a lot of time and is really stress relieving, because in this case, you have blocked a potential phishing attempt with just 2 content clicks of a mouse. You don't need to go inside the playbook. Of course, if the analyst wish to, he can go inside of it to have more information. But basically, all he needs to do is just stay here, require some very basic information, and take a specific action based on what it thinks should be the right answer to give to the SOAR. So from the SecOps dashboard, the SOAR, the software, talks to the human, and that is where you can save a lot of time, and it's really what makes a product unique, and really for all the security operations center where the level of stress are very high.
So basically, you have a processor that have inside the many actions using disparate tools, and only manual task and user choices appear on the SecOps dashboard. So basically, here the analyst has just a very important action that has to be managed by the human, because it's a very important that can perform that. So here, inside the tag, inside the task, you can also add tags if you want, with some details that helps to add in the description and in the title some information useful to take decisions or to perform a task. So that there's another capabilities. But now we have seen the SecOps dashboard, we have seen the playbooks, but where the analyst can have a look on whatever happened before and how can easily take decisions, Ricardo.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what we're going to see now is basically the war room. There is, let's say, a central repository of an incident. Here is stored everything that has happened inside of incidents. You can see here we have all the information that we need to have a better look at the incident. You can see that you can click here all the basically playbooks that are going on, the tasks, the note, the entities that has been found inside an incident. You can decide to show here and to see the result of a playbook. And you can also click on here to have much more information about something that has happened. From a graphical point of view, I can decide to see where something was found, where the IOCs were found, where the IP was found, and where the analysis was done. So that is from where I can have a full control about the incident, about what is going on. I can decide to export this and to store this into these formats here. This can be useful for audit purposes, and I can decide what to include inside the export. So from here, I can have an overall view about the incident and see better how it behaves and how I can export all the information that I want from that specific incident. Because maybe I want to have some more information about one incident that has occurred in a specific period of time. I can go in here and decide what to export and what to see from that specific incident. That is something that can save a lot of time.
Thank you very much. So you created the process, you assign user choices and manual task to the analyst, keeping time-consuming task, and in that case, you use the automation to perform that. And after that, there are other functionalities that helps the analyst. The supervised active intelligence. Would you like to just give an overview of these three latest points, Ricardo?
Yeah, absolutely, Enrico. So what happens here is that we know that sometimes, one thing that worries the most the security operation centers are the false positives, because you have a very high number of false positives that at the end of the year dirt the final audit, because maybe the auditor comes and say, oh, you have a lot of false positives, that's not something very good, that's something which you work on, that's not something that is right. That's where and how we created a specific section that is called the triage section. You can see a triage section such as a shadow part of the SOAR, because maybe you know that some common false positives have some common IOCs. So you can make sure that each time that IOCs comes in place, it goes into the triage section. From the triage section, then the analyst would look at it and decide if it is actually a real incident, a real threat or not. In case it is not, it is just discarded from the SOAR and it won't be shown in the final count of the audit. So that is something that can really help you to purge the final audit count. Another interesting thing that we offer is a supervised active intelligence and the machine learning, because what happens is that we provided an algorithm that works with the known nearest neighbor that basically says that it is based on how you have treated the SOAR and now you have worked over a specific period of time, given some specific informations. And based on that, it will suggest you some playbooks, so some ways to overcome specific incident even if you have not set it by yourself. So the SOAR can just work with this intelligence and say, hey, I know that there is this incident that looks very similar to another one that you have overcome in the past. That is how I suggest you this specific playbook and this specific treatment for this incident. Of course, that is not mandatory. You can decide to follow these guidelines or not, but it is something that a lot of customers found really useful to overcome specific incidents.
Sounds good. Please, if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask us using the box.
Yes.
Automatic incident reports, Ricardo?
Yeah, sure. Because again, talking again about all this, because we know that something really painful for every cybersecurity environment, we provide customizable reports for basically everything from single incident to the SOAR performance as a macro. So you can decide to export reports from a single incident with some specific tags that you wish to export. Let's say maybe I want to export all the incidents in my Cloud SOAR environment, but only those who have, let's say, a specific date or a specific IOC. You can decide to export it with your own personal tags that you can create on your own. If you want, we can talk about this. And you can also decide to export, basically have a report about how the Cloud SOAR is going in a specific period of time. So you can say, give me a report about how the SOAR is going over the last year, how many incidents have been opened, how many incidents have been successfully closed, how many are still open, how many are still ongoing. And that is something very customizable that you can find from the GUI, actually. You can simply go in it and customize the reports part as you prefer, basically. This is led to the KPI and customizable dashboard. That is something you can download. You can download the KPI reports in a very specific and particular way, designed to export only the things that you wish to export exactly, and to present to eventual for audit purposes, so to manager. You can decide to export all the information that you need in a very granular way. So we know that not all informations are relevant. From here, you can filter all the information that you wish to export in a PDF format or in a documents format. You can also encrypt it, so it is totally safe. And you can send it to whoever has interesting and is really interested into seeing this. There is something very useful for you too, because that is from where you can see how the Cloud SOAR is going on, how your working environment has benefited from the Cloud SOAR, and now you can improve better the system to make sure that it gives you the most benefits as possible.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. So if you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask us, send me an email, and I will organize for you a specific demo session in which you can enter in details. We have just time for one question, so if you let me check, there are a few, but we respond. Yeah, inside the the processes, when you have a specific incident, can you just activate playbooks or also specific actions? Ricardo?
You can do absolutely both things, and you can do this both automatically or manually. So let's say that I have an IOC inside an incident that, let's say, is not parsed by a playbook with an action that I wish to perform. I can take the IOC and perform every single action that I have available in my instance for that specific IOC. So you can work on it with a playbook that will start automatically with all the nodes, with enrichment and containment nodes. But let's say if I want some other information about that specific entity, I can put that entity and make sure that it works with any of the actions available in my Cloud SOAR. So there is something that you can absolutely do. The playbook doesn't limit, it can just help you. But with the SOAR itself, you can test all the actions that you have with all the entities that you have. So it's not a limit at all.
So basically, this is the power of the relationship with the analyst, because you have a structured process, but if the analyst would like to check something else, he can add other section and exploring other possibility in order to be sure that what happened is the right information. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Ricardo. Thanks to everyone. Please contact us for a specific demo. We're well happy to set up for you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Enrico. Have a nice day.